Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is Nishit Kumar with the evening news. The headlines. India strikes hard on Pakistani fake news factories, blocks 35 YouTube channels and 2 websites for spreading anti-India fake and divisive contents. Government says 6 members can be registered using one mobile number on CoWIN for COVID vaccination. In Delhi, private offices allowed to function with up to 50% attendance. Filing of nominations begins for second phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single phase polling in Goa and Uttarakhand. BJP releases list of 85 candidates for Uttar Pradesh assembly elections and the first list of 34 candidates for Punjab polls. Akali Dal Sanyukt releases list of 12 candidates for Punjab assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with district magistrates of various districts tomorrow around 11 a.m. through video conferencing. Amar Jawan Jyoti flame at India Gate merged with flame at the National War Memorial in New Delhi. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue to be installed at India Gate. In badminton, PV Sindhu enters women's singles semi-finals of the Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow. And in cricket, India set a victory target of 288 runs for South Africa in the second ODI at Boland Park in Pal. As the number of COVID-19 cases is rising fast in several parts of the country, we appeal to our listeners to be vigilant and to get fully vaccinated and help others, including children between 15 and 18 years, get vaccinated. With the new Omicron variant of coronavirus causing concern, please continue to follow these 3 simple steps to stay safe. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. India has struck hard on Pakistani fake news factories. The centre has ordered blocking of 35 YouTube-based news channels and 2 websites which were involved in spreading anti-India fake news in a coordinated manner over digital media. Besides 2 Twitter accounts, 2 Instagram accounts and 1 Facebook account have also been blocked by the government for being involved in spreading coordinated anti-India disinformation over the internet. Secretary, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Apurva Chandra said that the YouTube channels, websites and Twitter, Instagram and Facebook accounts were operating from Pakistan. He said the contents and information of these channels are toxic and are totally against the sovereignty of the country. He said the ministry has issued the order in this regard yesterday. Mr. Chandra said the YouTube accounts blocked by the ministry had a total subscriber base of over 1 crore 20 lakh.
Our intelligence agencies are now alive to this issue. Last month we blocked about 20 YouTube channels. This month we have blocked about 35 YouTube channels. YouTube channels with 1 crore 20 lakh subscriber base, 130 crore views. Now since this process started, I am sure that more and more such channels will get blocked. Intelligence agencies are at work. We are at work. We will like that the people come up with their own this thing. They tell us that these are the channels which are toxic and which are against the country, and we will take action against those.
Mr. Chandra said that the recent action taken by the government follows the blocking of 20 YouTube channels and 2 websites in December 2021 when the emergency powers under the IT rules 2021 were first utilized to act against such anti-India fake news networks.
All these channels are based in Pakistan, totally baseless, totally content which has no sense at all, war of misinformation against the country, because this is the sort of information which is absolutely toxic, totally against the sovereignty of the country, and that is why we have used the provisions of the IT Act Section 69A to block these channels under the emergency provisions.
Government today said that 6 members can be registered using one mobile number on CoWIN. Earlier, the existing limit was 4 members. The CoWIN digital platform has been developed to streamline the process of vaccination for various categories of beneficiaries across the country. Union Health Ministry said a new utility feature has been introduced under Raise an Issue in CoWIN account. Through this new feature, the beneficiary can revoke his current COVID vaccination status from fully vaccinated to partially vaccinated or unvaccinated status and also partially vaccinated to unvaccinated status.
Over 160 crore 43 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Minister said over 70 lakh 49,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 93.50%. The daily positivity rate is at 17.94% and the weekly positivity rate is at 16.56%. 703 deaths were reported in the last 24 hours. Private offices in Delhi have been allowed to function with up to 50% attendance. The Delhi Disaster Management Authority, DDMA, has issued an order in this regard advising them to stagger office timings, presence and quantum of staff. It has clarified that night curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day and weekend curfew from 10 p.m. of Friday till 5 a.m. of subsequent Monday will remain in force in the national capital till further orders. Earlier, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Anil Bajal rejected the proposal of Delhi government to lift weekend curfew, an odd-even scheme for shops and commercial establishments in the city in view of COVID-19 situation. The city government had recommended to end the restrictions in the wake of the decline in COVID-19 cases. Sources said the LG has suggested that status quo be maintained with regard to the weekend curfew and opening of markets, saying decision will be taken on the subject once the COVID situation improves further. However, the LG agreed to allow 50% attendance in private offices in the city.
In a bilingual live phone-in program Corona Jagrukta series, Dr. Tanuja Nesari, Director of the All India Institute of Ayurveda, New Delhi, will be with us tonight to answer the queries related to coronavirus. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on telephone number 011 2342 1230. Repeat 011 2342 1230 and 011 2342 1764. I repeat 011 2342 1764. You can also post your queries on a Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. The process of filing nominations for the second phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, along with the single-phase polling in Goa and Uttarakhand, has begun with issuance of notification today. Uttar Pradesh is going to polls in 7 phases from the 10th of February to the 7th of March. The second phase of polling in Uttar Pradesh will be conducted on the 14th of February in 55 assembly constituencies from 9 districts, including 9 seats reserved for the scheduled castes. 40 seats in Goa and 70 seats in Uttarakhand will go to polls together in this phase. Meanwhile, in Uttar Pradesh, the nomination process for the first phase of assembly polls ended today. A total of 815 candidates have filed the nomination papers. 426 candidates filed the nomination on the last day. Also, 10 candidates filed the nomination papers for the second phase of the elections, which began today. Our correspondent has filed this report.
In the first phase, the polling will be held in 58 assembly constituencies of 11 districts: Shamli, Meerut, Muzaffarnagar, Bagpat, Hapur, Ghaziabad, Gautam Budh Nagar, Bulandshahr, Mathura, Agra and Aligarh. The Bharatiya Janata Party's National President JP Nadda launched the party's door-to-door campaign in Agra today, where the polling will be held in the first phase. In another event in Lucknow, BJP launched the party's election song UP Fir Mange Bhajpa Sarkar in the presence of Union Minister and Party Leader Anurag Singh Thakur and Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Besides, the Aam Aadmi Party released its third list of 33 candidates today. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
In the poll-bound Uttar Pradesh and other 4 states, including Goa, Punjab, Uttarakhand and Manipur, the hectic political activities are going on through various means of communication.
BJP has released another list of 85 candidates for the ensuing assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh. The party has fielded Aditi Singh from Raebareli assembly seat, while Nitin Agarwal will contest from Hardoi seat, Asim Arun from Kannauj, Jaivir Singh from Mainpuri seat, and Sarita Bhadoria will contest from the Etawah assembly seat in the state. The BJP today released its first list of 34 candidates for the upcoming Punjab Assembly elections. Rana Gurmeet Singh Sodhi has been given ticket from Firozpur City Assembly seat, while Arvind Khanna will fight from Sangrur Assembly constituency.
Aam Aadmi Party today released its 12th and last list of 4 candidates for the upcoming Assembly elections in Punjab. AAP's national spokesman Raghav Chadda said that with this the party has announced candidates on all 117 seats in the poll-bound state. The Akali Dal Sanyukt, formed by Sukhdev Singh Dhinsa, today released its list of 12 candidates. The party is contesting Punjab Assembly polls in alliance with Bharatiya Janata Party and Punjab Lok Congress of Captain Amrinder Singh. Sukhdev Singh Dhinsa had formed the Akali Dal Sanyukt after leaving Shiromani Akali Dal.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with district magistrates of various districts tomorrow at around 11 a.m. through video conferencing. He will take direct feedback from the progress and present status of implementation of government schemes and programs in the districts. The interaction will help review the performance and ascertain the challenges that are being faced. It is aimed at achieving saturation of various schemes by various departments in the districts in mission mode in convergence with all stakeholders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the new circuit house near Somnath temple in Gujarat through video conferencing today. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Modi said that we are working relentlessly to realize the potential of tourism in our country. He said the development of tourist centres is not just a part of the government schemes but also a campaign of public participation. The development of our cultural heritage is a great example of this, added Mr. Modi. The Prime Minister said tourism is contributing to the economy of many countries in the world in a big way. He said India also has endless possibilities like this in every state and every region. We are taking this issue holistically and developing and launching many religious, cultural and heritage tourist circuits in a big way, he added.
पहले हमारे पर्यटन स्थल अस्वच्छ रहते थे. आज स्वच्छ भारत अभियान ने ये तस्वीर बदली है. सुविधा परिवहन की, इंटरनेट की, सही जानकारी की, मेडिकल व्यवस्था की, हर तरह की होनी चाहिए. लोग कम से कम समय में ज्यादा से ज्यादा स्थान कवर करना चाहते हैं. आज जो देश में हाईवेज, एक्सप्रेसवेज बन रहे हैं, आधुनिक ट्रेन्स चल रही है, नए एयरपोर्ट शुरू हो रहे हैं, उनसे इसमें बहुत मदद मिल रही है.
Mr. Modi also appealed to people to adopt vocal for local in the tourism sector also and consider visiting domestic tourist destinations before planning for any foreign tourist destination. Prime Minister also emphasized on Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, convenience of the people and innovative and modern thinking to boost domestic tourism in the country. Mr. Modi said, we know the circumstances under which the Somnath temple was destroyed and again rebuilt by the efforts of Sardar Patel. These historical incidents have a big message for us. He said construction of the newly built circuit house near the Somnath temple will provide more facilities to lakhs of tourists every year.
यहाँ आने वाले श्रद्धालुओं के लिए रुकने की अच्छी व्यवस्था हो रही है. सड़कों और ट्रांसपोर्ट की सुविधा बढ़ रही है. यहाँ बेहतर प्रोमेनाड विकसित किया गया है. पार्किंग सुविधा बनाई गई है. टूरिस्ट फैसिलिटेशन सेंटर बनाया गया है. साफ सफाई के लिए वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट की आधुनिक व्यवस्था भी की गई है. एक शानदार पिलग्रिम प्लाजा और कॉम्प्लेक्स का प्रस्ताव भी अपने अंतिम चरणों में है.
Environment, Forest and Climate Change Minister Bhupendra Yadav has said that the natural resources dependent community is an important aspect of tiger conservation and the people agenda ranks prominently in India's tiger agenda. He was speaking at the 4th Asia Ministerial Conference on Tiger Conservation through video conferencing. Mr. Yadav said India will facilitate tiger range countries towards finalization of New Delhi Declaration for the Global Tiger Summit to be held at Vladivostok, Russia later this year. The minister said that India has achieved the remarkable feat of doubling the tiger population in 2018 itself, 4 years ahead of the targeted year 2022.
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India strikes hard on Pakistani fake news factories, blocks 35 YouTube channels and 2 websites for spreading anti-India fake and divisive contents. Government says 6 members can be registered using one mobile number on CoWIN for COVID vaccination. In Delhi, private offices allowed to function with up to 50% attendance. Filing of nominations begins for the second phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single-phase polling in Goa and Uttarakhand. BJP releases list of 85 candidates for Uttar Pradesh assembly elections and the first list of 34 candidates for Punjab polls. Akali Dal Sanyukt releases list of 12 candidates for Punjab assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with district magistrates of various districts tomorrow around 11 a.m. through video conferencing. Amar, Jawan, Jyoti flame at India Gate merged with the flame at the National War Memorial in New Delhi. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue to be installed at India Gate. In badminton, PV Sindhu enters the women's singles semi-finals at the Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow. And in cricket, India set a victory target of 288 runs for South Africa in the second ODI at Boland Park in Pal. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
Welcome back. You're listening to the evening news. The Amar Jawan Jyoti flame at India Gate has been merged with the flame at the National War Memorial in New Delhi today. The ceremony to merge the Amar Jawan Jyoti flame was presided over by the Chief of Integrated Defence Staff, Balbhadra Radhakrishna. India Gate was unveiled in 1931 and it was built to honour the 70,000 soldiers of British India who gave supreme sacrifice. The Amar Jawan Jyoti was set up after the 1971 Indo-Pak War. Earlier, the government clarified over the misinformation circulating regarding the flame of the Amar Jawan Jyoti. It said the flame of the Amar Jawan Jyoti has not been extinguished and it has been merged with the flame at the National War Memorial. The sources said it was an odd thing to see that the flame at Amar Jawan Jyoti paid homage to the martyrs of 1971 and other wars, but none of the names are present there. The names inscribed on the India Gate are of only some martyrs who fought for the British in the World War I and the Anglo-Afghan War, and thus is a symbol of a colonial past. The government sources said names of all Indian martyrs from all the wars, including 1971 and wars before and after it, are housed at the National War Memorial. Hence, it is a true tribute to have the flame paying tribute to martyrs there. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's grand statue made of granite will be installed at India Gate. In a series of tweets, Mr. Modi said this would be a symbol of India's indebtedness to him. He said till the grand statue of Netaji Bose is completed, a hologram statue would be present at the same place. Mr. Modi added he will unveil the hologram statue on the 23rd of January on Netaji's birth anniversary. Welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi's decision of installing a grand statue of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at India Gate, Minister of Information and Broadcasting Anurag Thakur said the statue is a tribute to Netaji's struggle, dedication and valor.
And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News, Birth of a Nation.
India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember revolutionary freedom fighter and founder of the Indian Independence League, Rash Bihari Bose, who died on 21st January 1945.
Rash Bihari was born on the 25th of May 1886 in Bardhaman and was vehemently against the partition of Bengal by the British. In 1908, after the Alipore conspiracy, he came to Dehradun. In Doon, he secretly got involved with the revolutionaries and also came across revolutionary members of the Arya Samaj in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. After the attack on Viceroy Harding in Delhi on the 23rd of December 1912, Rash Bihari was declared wanted by the British.
He came in contact with Bagha Jatin during the flood relief work in Bengal in 1913 and became extensively involved as one of the leading figures of the Ghadar revolution. Most of the revolutionaries were arrested, but Rash Bihari managed to escape British intelligence and reached Japan in 1915.
Bose, along with Ayyappan Pillai Madhavan Nair, was instrumental in persuading the Japanese authorities to support the Indian independence struggle abroad. In 1942, Bose convened a conference in Tokyo which decided to establish the Indian Independence League. At the League's second conference in Bangkok, a resolution was adopted to call upon Subhash Chandra Bose as the leader of the movement.
I resign my office and appoint this Subhash Chandra Bose as President of Indian Independence League. Now on, Subhash Chandra Bose is your President, your leader in the fight for India's independence, and I am confident.
The League exhorted the Indian prisoners of war taken by Japan during the Second World War to join the Indian National Army. Bose, along with Captain Mohan Singh and Sardar Pritam Singh, played an instrumental role in the formation of Indian National Army on 1st September 1942, which later came to be known as the Azad Hind Fauj.
The Japanese government conferred on him the honor of the Order of the Rising Sun. Unfortunately, Bose was afflicted by tuberculosis and he succumbed to the disease on the 21st of January 1945 in Tokyo. AIR salutes the great freedom fighter.
We also remember freedom fighter and Malayalam writer Vaikom Muhammad Bashir, who was born on 21st January 1908 in Talayola Parambu Kottayam. He was fondly known as Bepor Sultan.
From his childhood days, Bashir was attracted to Gandhian thoughts and ideologies. Bashir was arrested along with his group when he went to Malabar district to take part in the Salt Satyagraha in 1930. Bashir was sentenced to 3 months imprisonment and sent to Kannur prison. He was inspired by stories of heroism by revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Thapar and Shivram Rajguru, who were executed while he was in jail.
His release, along with 600 of his fellow prisoners, came in March 1931, following the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Once free, he organized an anti-British movement and edited revolutionary journal Ujjivanam, because of which an arrest warrant was issued on him. He avoided arrest by embarking upon a long journey that took him across the length and breadth of India and many places in Asia and Africa for 7 years. He was arrested at Kottayam in 1941 and was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months imprisonment and sent to Thiruvananthapuram Central Jail.
Bashir is noted for his path-breaking, down-to-earth style of writing that has made him equally popular among literary critics as well as the common man. His notable works including Balyakala Sakhi, Patummayude Adu, Janmadinam, and the translations of his works into other languages have earned him worldwide acclaim. Bashir was honoured with the Padma Shri in 1982. He was also awarded the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1970 and Kendriya Sahitya Akademi Award in 1982. He left for his heavenly abode on the 5th of July, 1994. We salute the great patriot.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Best wishes to all consumers for Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Hallmark ensures purity of gold. Always purchase Hallmark gold jewellery. For any consumer-related complaints, please contact the National Consumer Helpline's toll-free number 14404. Issued in public interest by the Department of Consumer Affairs, Government of India. Jago Grahak Jago. In badminton, two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu rallied from a game down to eke out a hard-fought win over Thailand's Suparnida Ketating to enter the women's singles semi-final of the Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow this evening. The top-seeded Indian beat her Thai rivals, seeded 6th in the tournament 11-21, 21-12, 21-17 in a quarter-final match that lasted 1 hour and 5 minutes. Sindhu will face fifth-seeded Russian Evgenia Kosetskaya in the semi-finals tomorrow. Earlier in the men's singles, H.S. Pranoy crashed out of the tournament with a straight game defeat to Arnaud Merkel of France in the quarter-finals 19-21, 16-21. And in cricket, chasing a victory target of 288 runs set by India, South Africa were 201 for 1 in 33.2 overs in the second one-day international at Boland Park in Pal when reports last came in.
Now let us take a look at the weather forecast. So tomorrow, the national capital Delhi will have thunderstorm with the rain. The temperature will vary between 10 and 16 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. The minimum temperature will be 17 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is expected to be around 29 degrees. Chennai will have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. The temperature will vary between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius. Kolkata will have cloudy sky with light rain. The city will observe a minimum temperature of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of around 25 degrees. Srinagar will have cloudy sky with light rain. Temperature will hover between 2 and 6 degrees Celsius. Jammu will have cloudy sky with moderate rain. The minimum temperature will be 10 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 12 degrees. Leh will have light snow. The minimum and maximum temperature will hover between -13 and -1 degree Celsius. Gilgit will have cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorm with rain. Shillong will have cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before I end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India strikes hard on Pakistani fake news factories, blocks 35 YouTube channels and 2 websites for spreading anti-India fake and divisive contents. Government says 6 members can be registered using 1 mobile number on CoWIN for COVID vaccination. In Delhi, private offices allowed to function with up to 50% attendance. Filing of nominations begins for the second phase of assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh and single phase polling in Goa and Uttarakhand. BJP releases list of 85 candidates for Uttar Pradesh assembly elections and the first list of 34 candidates for Punjab polls. Akali Dal Sanyukt releases list of 12 candidates for Punjab assembly elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to interact with district magistrates of various districts tomorrow around 11 a.m. through video conferencing. Amar, Jawan, Jyoti at India Gate merged with flame at the National War Memorial in New Delhi. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's statue to be installed at India Gate. In badminton, PV Sindhu enters women's singles semi-final of Syed Modi International Tournament in Lucknow. And in cricket, India set a victory target of 288 runs before South Africa in the second ODI at Boland Park in Paarl. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.